Hello. I wanted to make a detailed guide on the mage builds that I'm using in Enshrouded. Specifically, I wanted to discuss in detail the skill tree choices that I made, add some info on the food that I'm using, and first of all, I would say that in order for this build to work, you should prioritize getting a really good wand or a staff. All other armor pieces are secondary, even though you can get a lot of skill bonuses from them. Like, first and foremost, let's discuss skill choices that I made. The biggest and the most important skill trees that I would recommend getting straight away is Battle Mage, and it provides a lot of survivability and a lot of damage with wands. Wands are fairly comfortable to use with a shield, so Unity is pretty good because it gives you some regeneration for your mana. Advanced Specialization is really good as well, that I definitely recommend getting. And it doesn't do that much damage a lot of times, but it creates a whirlpool that pulls your enemy into it, so it's good for crowd control. Life Essence, I wouldn't really recommend it straight away. It's kind of good to get if you have no skill points to spend whatsoever, but the most important thing in here is Wand Mastery, and also Arcane Proliferation is pretty good to go along with it. On top of it, Sting, and Life Burst, it's not bad, but it's not too good, and I'll show you another skill point that actually does more healing than that. And also it's good to get all the points of intelligence you can get in any skill tree as a mage, because a lot of abilities will scale with your will scale up with your intelligence. And on top of it, very important thing is Blink. Blink provides you a lot of mobility. You cannot really play a mage effectively in close range without using a Blink. You're gonna be way too slow for your enemies. And Emergency Blink is pretty good to get on top of it. I didn't really bother with Blink Attack because I don't really blink into enemies that much, but theoretically it could be useful as well. And after Battle Mage, it's pretty good to get Wizard. Wizard is good for when you're using staffs, and you get extra damage with your magic weapons straight away. And Quick Charge is pretty good for using staff more rapidly. And on top of it, Necromancer is kind of good sometimes to distract the enemies. Don't expect those skulls to do a lot of damage, but they're good distraction. They're good distraction while you're shooting from afar. It works pretty well. And Bone to Ash is pretty good. You can get 1 point of Necromancer and then get Bone to Ash, and it gives you 15% against all shrouded monsters. And Dark Arts is pretty good if you're using anything that has to do with Shroud, which is not very common, but it's not too bad. Another important things is Iceman and Arsonist. It depends what you're going to be using more. Like, personally, I prefer Arsonist because I'm using Fireballs way more, but I got both. And you can get a lot of extra levels for either Iceman or Arsonist through getting appropriate gear. Didn't bother with resistances that much, to be honest. Because I have Blink and I rely on mobility and crowd control, I try to avoid damage altogether. And however, this thing is pretty good as well, which provides you additional layer of crowd control, and it slows down anyone who attacks you for 7 seconds. So if someone manages to run up to you and lands a hit on you, it's slowed down. On top of it, Wizard is pretty good because it gives 12% crit chance. It's extremely important, very good talent. And Radiant Aura is something that I really like a lot myself. It's very good for clearing all those bugs that you will find in any enshrouded area. So what else? Spirit Intelligence is like Spirit, I don't didn't get a lot of spirit, but intelligence. Whenever you see intelligence, always get intelligence. Everything, a lot of things scale with intelligence. On top of it, thunder is pretty good because it works really well with mass destruction, and even if you're not using a lot of lightning, I'm pretty sure it stacks anyway. Whenever you get crit damage with shock, you get extra damage for all enemies nearby, and it scales with your intelligence. So in here, crit, good crit, and good intelligence adds a significant portion to your damage. After you have all of that, I would recommend Trickster. Like getting a little bit Trickster isn't too bad. Counter Strike is kind of okay-ish. Not, it's an interesting thing to use, but it's not extremely reliable. However, you will also get a lot of points in intelligence from Trickster, which again contributes to your a lot of perks and overall damage. So it kind of works together pretty well. I did get arcane concentration because it was inexpensive, but it's not bad if you're like investing in Trickster. It's not too bad. And Terror is pretty good because it provides additional crowd control on all the crowd control that you already have, and it stuns target for 2 seconds, which is pretty good. And the most important one is Spell Slinger, 25% extra for your stab damage. This is very important in the skill tree. What else? Bloodletting isn't too bad. Those orbs can be useful if you're fighting bosses for a long period of time, like having a lot of orbs around you that you can collect is pretty good. And the other like utility things is Updraft. I would definitely recommend it, and Double Jump. It's worth getting it, and it's pretty good. Also on top of Updraft, I got Airborne, so I can fly for a longer period of time. And yeah, that's about the most interesting thing. The other interesting thing you can get, I got there through Battle Mage, and I didn't invest a lot of points in here. And you get some points that make your life in the Shroud a little bit easier. And I mean, if you're struggling with Shroud monsters, you can put more stuff in here. When you this one is a bit more useful than the other, I think, because you get more shroud damage resistance, and this one also gives a lot of shroud resistance on top of everything. So if you struggling with shroud monsters that kill you with shroud, like, I guess you could, but I didn't find it super duper useful. And this one extends your time in the shroud a little bit. If you have problems like when you have a limit in time and shroud, it kind of helps a little bit. However, my favorite in here is water aura. It gives you a really good passive healing, and if you throw in waters of life on top of it, it will give you a really good passive healing in combat and outside of it that you can like really feel and you can rely upon. So I really like that. And of course, intelligence points. I got all the intelligence points I could get in here, and got healing revive just for the sake of getting intelligence point. Don't find it very useful. And a part of all of that, like cherry on the top, the last thing you can get is runner. That will make your sprinting a little bit better, and Inner Fires is pretty good. It gives you 6 minutes extra in the Shroud. And Wanderlust also if you're running around roads a lot, so it's not too bad. Make your traveling a bit easier and more comfortable. So that's like the main choices. And first of all, I would definitely recommend going for Battle Mage and then going for Wizard. And yeah, and then of course Trickster and Healer, like, if you're leveling, like that makes a lot of sense. In terms of food, which is quite important, I'm using Meat Wrap for a little bit extra health and 6% magic damage. Glimmer Gentian Tea for 15% extra damage against Fel. And the most important one, Algae Salad, which is 21% extra magic damage to all enemies. This build really shines when you're dealing with a large number of enemies and you can get really considerable range so that you're safe enough and they're not be able to reach you while you're shooting fireballs or any other spell at them. And the main thing that I would emphasize is getting on top of a hill or getting on any vantage. And a lot of the times the enemies will just run around, they won't be able to reach you, and you can shoot down with fireballs or anything else. So that's important thing. If someone gets too close to you, I would definitely recommend switching to wand and shield and just wanding them down really fast. So it's all about crowd control. It's all about mobility. It's about being fast and using vantage points whenever you can get them. In terms of bosses, it's very good to guide bosses with Frostbolt. You can slow them down considerably, and you can deal a lot of damage without taking any damage at all. And in other cases, you could again get on top of the hill near the boss, make sure that boss won't be able to reach you, and just shoot down that boss without taking any damage at all. So your positioning is quite important because essentially it works as a glass cannon build. You will not be able to sustain a lot of damage, but you'll be able to slow down your enemies and deal a lot of damage to them. So that's it in terms of info on the build that I'm using. I hope you found it useful. Give this video a like and subscribe for more Enshrouded and Conan Exiles content.